Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I am burnt, not turnt. We are burnt and ready to go into Money in the Bank, not Spank Bank. I am with your champions, Cliff, the national sports champion, and the undisputed predictions champion, Austen. I am the advisorless, champless Elijah. How we doing, boys?
I'm doing great because you want to know why? Like you said, it's time
What part?
for Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank, it's one of our highly anticipated gimmicks a year because we talked about it last week. We are going to do more gimmicks. If you have not watched the Town Hall episode, make sure you go ahead, give it a little watch. We talk about a lot of stuff that's actually going to go into effect this week, which we will explain as we go along. As you heard the intro, Eli, myself, he already gave us the intros. I don't know. I'm just trying to kind of cruise on past that.
That's literally the first 20 seconds of what these people that are going to listen are going to hear. They're not even going to hear this. Like,
if you are hearing this, make sure you follow. All our social medias are down below. Follow us on Twitter. You can find our Twitter through my Twitter. I know that for a fact. I try and repost everything we post on there. So make sure you follow us on all of our socials.
Rate how you think the intro was out of 5 stars for this episode's rating. Let's go ahead and do that too.
Make sure you leave a comment below to become Ace in the Hole Fan of the Week. I'll actually go check right now. I don't think we had any comments, but if we did,
Eli,
we'll have a new Ace in the Hole Fan of the Week.
I've had that one loaded this week since 2 o'clock in the morning.
We have 2 sets of predictions for you. Neither of them for a title. Unless we are making it for a title. I know we were kind of talking about doing a gimmick, but I don't know what the gimmick would be. We didn't really discuss a gimmick.
I would say maybe a free veto.
I don't know. I feel like Money in the Bank is still Money in the Bank, but I feel like Worlds Collide could be something like...
That's what I'm saying.
If you win Worlds Collide, for any time there is a single show that we're doing, you could slap another card on the end of it. And instead of having to do, for example...
Or... if we want to try and incorporate more AAA stuff, AAA NXT, because it's mostly NXT people there. I don't want to say that because that's not true, but Javon Evans is wrestling the NXT North American titles on, well, it's a pretty decent. The winner of that, the winner of Worlds Collide, gets home turf advantage from here on out on NXT and AAA shows. Or we can make it to where it just branches into like kind of Forbidden Door shows and as a whole, because AEW has Forbidden Door.
That's not bad.
TNA has a Forbidden Door. WWE has them every now and again.
I was just thinking you get to expand one card before the next Worlds Collide. Like, you get to add, like, oh, we're doing this card too this weekend.
Well, yeah, but
I like being able to claim
NXT
on AAA.
Well, why don't you go ahead and explain what home turf is? Because I don't know if anybody who didn't watch last week.
Yeah, so if you didn't watch last week, like I said, make sure you go watch it. But it was our second ever town hall. And one of the things brought up in our town hall that we all passed was the idea of home show advantage. And just like most teams have home field advantage, usually if their fan base likes them, sell the team, sell the Reds. But most teams have a home field advantage. So we each have our own home show. We've kind of alluded to it throughout the history of our podcast. Eli being the Lion mark, me being the Fed mark, and Cliff being the AEW nerd. So those are exactly what our home shows are, except I feel like we haven't really worked Eli's out yet because we don't do a whole lot of New Japan. I thought, don't you just tag off of AEW points? Or
depends
if it's a crossover show or not, like Forbidden Door.
So I think you really need Worlds Collide.
Oh yeah, that's why I'm on board with it.
I think you really need Worlds Collide here to
I need
put things back in your favor. So what specifically do we want to do for the unique opportunity? Do we want to make it to where it's any Forbidden Door card? Or just AAA and NXT?
I think we could just label it as if you win Worlds Collide until the next Worlds Collide. If we do any random shows, like a GCW show or something like that, you win the miscellaneous home field advantage.
Okay,
There's a lot of weight behind that
I'm
because
fine with that.
that's
'Cause
I
TNA,
need this.
Well,
that's
and
I need this
Triple
one.
A.
yes, and if
Yeah.
the champion ends up, if the person with that ends up with the title, they can enforce mega cards that are strictly. Yeah, I'm with that.
My Japan shows finally are happening.
So decreed here, the unique opportunity being fought for today on the Worlds Collide card is home show advantage at any of the non-big three organizations, being WWE, NJPW, or AEW. So one person here really needs that being Eli.
So
If one of us here doesn't need it, it's me.
I want to clarify one thing. This means that NXT and ROH are both independent companies. So that means for NXT shows and ROH shows. So for like Supercard of Honor, Death
Ooh,
Before
I don't know about
Dishonor.
that.
If we're doing it for NXT, ROH is the same thing. Because if not, that means I get ROH.
Well, and I'd be fine with that. I only think it's a little different. I can understand NXT, but ROH I feel like is so
Ingrained.
yeah,
Okay.
like that is AEW.
I just wanted to draw the line because, parent companies and stuff like that.
I'll already say, like, I'm not going to sit here and fight for Evolve. He can have fucking Evolve if he wants to do Evolve shows.
Well, yeah.
Just because it's under the WWE, like,
Umbrella.
we have NXT people constantly getting called up and vice versa in NXT. So that's the only reason I feel kind of about that. But
I'm okay with it.
yeah,
I
for
just
sure.
wanted to draw the line somewhere.
That's fine. We get 3, and then hopefully Eli wins here, and he can get everything else, and it all kind of evens out. We're all banking on you here, Eli.
It'd be a shame if you
Not-
didn't win.
Not the best week for that.
Mercy, how's it feel?
We're trying to give you the softball here, man.
Yeah, we're
Like I'm
giving
on
you a
fire.
push here.
Oh yeah,
It's the push you've been saying you wanted for 5 years.
For real.
we're not even close
And
to
then
5 years yet.
The other card is for, obviously, the Ace in the Bank.
The most
One time cashed
prestigious.
in, one time cashed in, one time failed cash in, 1 for 2, and there's only one person on this podcast that hasn't had it yet. And it's the person with the fucking thing.
It's the person who probably should have had it the longest time ago, but somehow still hasn't come out on top with it.
And we only have a 4-match card here to do it.
Gambling, boys.
Yep. So some of
Judgment
the
Day
other
interference.
No.
some of the other town hall things that might come into play here, and I'm just going to kind of give a brief overview because these are things that are going to continue to become into effect. So if you're a returning viewer, get used to it, and if you're a new viewer or listener, get used to it as well. It's a new regime. I don't mean that in a shitty way. I mean that in an exciting way. These are things to be excited about. More gimmicks like we just talked about. Home show advantage is one of them, and we are fighting for a new home show advantage. One of the other ones is the sports title, which has to be defended every 2 months, which will segue right into our sports recap. So, Cliff, go ahead, give us our 5-minute weekly sports recap from your view, and then we will go back into our weekly wrestling recaps, which was another thing we talked about on our town hall.
Well, I don't know if I got 5 minutes worth, but I can stretch it.
Give what you got. I can kill time
Indiana.
by talking about my beer.
Indiana. OKC. The finals no one predicted.
What the
But dear
Howie?
God, we're getting it.
What
Halliburton
the Howie?
sent the Knicks packing.
I'm
Well, yeah, Pascal more
I'll probably
did it
say
than Howie.
I'm really tired of people talking about fucking Halliburton because Pascal Siakam has been the star of this team all year.
You want to talk
And
about the most underrated? That's Pascal Siakam.
Yeah, I don't mean that in like a bad way. Like Halliburton is good. He's really good, but and I talk about this with one of my coworkers, shout out Peyton. He is just streaky. He will have 2 great games, and then that 3rd, 4th-ish game, he'll be terrible. And they will lose that game. And then he has to try to recover. Pascal Siakam, there's no streakiness to him. He's going to show up and he'll give you a good game every night, which is why he got Eastern Conference Finals MVP over Halliburton.
I saw something that made me think. So Pascal's a 4. He with turn to the 5, he's the 4. The last time Rick Carlisle went to the finals, you know who his 4 was?
It was either San Antonio. No, it was the Mavs. It was Dirk, wasn't it?
It was the year
Yeah.
Dirk won. So Rick Carlisle, he's been here before with tremendous underdogs. If anybody could do it, it's him and this year's Pacers. They're the hottest team right now. Like, the numbers they've been shooting for the year is crazy. It's like 40% from 3, 50% from the field, something like that. Like, you don't get that shooting all the time. So,
and if you are at all interested in going, tickets are actually under $1,000 now for the cheapest seat. I was looking in Indiana. I want to say it's actually more expensive for the games here in Indiana than it is in OKC. In OKC, I want to say the cheapest ticket is around $500, $600. And then in Indiana, the cheapest is anywhere from 6 to 9, I think. 9 is that later in the series.
That's crazy.
That's just to get in the door. And it's 12 hours driving distance away from each other, too. So if you really wanted to, you could pay it and go back and forth. I saw someone talk about that. This is the first time in a long time there's a sports series that you can commute back and forth.
This is the closest NBA Finals, I want to say, since 78. When it was the Rockets and somebody. It was like 644 miles between. This is 678, something like that. So, really close teams playing together. Midwestern basketball. A lot at stake. OKC, they have built a team through the draft. They're super young. And they have so many more draft picks. But the Pacers have a guy who's been here before in Carlisle and Pascal Siakam. 2 guys who have been here before. So, I don't know. I think it's Pacers in 6, but that's me being hopeful. Shai's going to shoot fucking 700 free throws a game, so it's not like it matters. Yeah, in other news, Alex Palou really likes that turn 1 wall in Detroit.
He does.
In all seriousness, he got booted pretty hard. Car behind him locked up the fronts, and he just ended up in the wall. Also had one of the nastiest crashes I've seen in a long time. As it was Ferrucci and oh god, I want to say it was the 45. He drove the 45 at Indy. He led like a lap or 2. I can't remember his name. But the front right suspension broke, and homie could not get it under control or stopped. So he ended up just taking the other car out with him. It was nasty. Kyle Kirkwood won the street race. He's now the only other person to win this year. Win multiple races this year. As, you know, he's won 2, and Alex Palou has won the rest. So yeah. When it comes to other motorsports, we have Indiana Midget Week starting up. The day this comes out, I believe. We'll be making a stop down here Saturday night. Tri-State, Hobstadt. Hopefully going to be there. Keyword on hopefully. Yeah. I mean, I haven't really had any camps or anything like that for NFL yet. There's a rumor that Shedeur may not even make the team in Cleveland, so that makes me laugh very hard. The Stanley Cup. Stanley Cup is starting, I think, the day this goes up. It goes up Wednesday, right? I'm going to take that as a yeah.
I was waiting for a response from the guy that uploads these.
Yes, it should be uploaded on Wednesday.
So yeah, after you get done with this, make sure you watch the Stanley Cup Game 1 tonight. Should be a good one. I think it's Edmonton and Dallas, I believe, right?
Sorry, I was looking at the old.
It's Edmonton and the Panthers.
Yeah.
So
I quit paying attention when Vegas got.
Understandable.
I was looking at the old bottle for the beer I'm drinking, because apparently there was a bottle that used to come, like a specific bottle that used to come in, and it got discontinued.
And so with that, I now need to know what beers Austen drinking this week.
Oh, tried and true. One I found at Walmart and I keep going back to. Rolling Rock.
Isn't that in like Cheers or Friends or Seinfeld or something?
I have no idea.
Oh, now I gotta look up the old Rolling Rock bottle.
It's called a pony bottle. It's 7 ounces, so it's small.
That is, oh my word, what the hell?
but it's like small, stubby, round, really weird looking. It almost looks like a medicine bottle.
It looks like it should have liquor in it.
Yeah. Looks like there's a concoction in there.
Drink it and shoot lightning out of my eyes.
Well, Eli, for the first time in Lord knows how long, I want to let you lead us off on our weekly wrestling recap. NXT, NJPW, whatever you got.
Well, in NXT, we had Stephanie Vaquero losing her championship to JC Jane in a very... I don't even know. I understand what it was used for. It's used to set up Worlds Collide. However, I think that it was a bullshit way of getting the title off to a wrestler who definitely doesn't deserve it, but, whatever. Besides that, Trick Williams is the TNA champion. He'll be facing off against Mike Santana for the TNA championship. There's not really too much else coming from NXT with him. He's still destroying people. But in New Japan, we actually do have Kosei Vegeta faced off against Yo, Best of Super Juniors final, and it was a decent match, back and forth the entire way. Kosei Vegeta wins. Kosei Vegeta has set the record as the youngest winner of the tournament at 22 years old, which I did not know he was younger than me and Austen. But you too, Cliff, but you're obviously older than the both of us. So
It's in
Cliff,
the.
I found out you're actually vintage.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've
we're retro.
hit vintage.
25 is technically what's because I heard a Stained song on the classic
Yeah.
radio today, and I was like, "There's no way that's classic rock." And if it came out in 2000,
Yep.
If it's 25 years old or more, it's vintage.
We're retro.
So
Classic.
Rolling Rock is in The Sopranos and That 70s Show.
That might have been where I heard of it before then, because I really liked that 70s show.
Just putting that out there.
I've seen really great stuff about Sopranos too.
So
It is a good show.
does that mean it's my turn? Is it my turn for
Well,
my
did Eli have anything?
my weekly
Also,
roundup?
Desperado is going to be facing off against Kasai June 25th for June 25th or June 24th in a death match, completely ignoring Vegeta, even winning the Best of Super Junior to be the next one. And it's not even a guy who wrestles for New Japan. He is a AJPW wrestler. So it's weird. I don't know what New Japan's doing right now, but I'm gonna let them cook and hopefully it's good.
Let them cook, he says.
That is my New Japan recap. That is the best recap I had for the week.
My AEW roundup. I've got two shows. I've got the Dynamite on 5/28 and the Collision on I believe it's 5/31. Yep. Dynamite 5/28 opened as Hangman was interrupted by Swerve and Will Ospreay, and we got to see the three-headed monster of the faces of modern AEW all in the ring at the same time. As Swerve came out to confront Hangman, basically saying, "Hey, what the fuck?" Yada yada yada. And then the Hangman said, "No, you idiot! I tried to help you win the title. I did not send anybody, especially the Bucks, to try to stop you. Why would I? I can't stand those fuckers." And then Will Ospreay came out to be the voice of reason, which is a crazy statement to say. And
Per the usual.
we got to see that. That was really cool. And then we got to see some trios action, some mixed trios action, as Briscoe, Speedball Mike Bailey, and Willow Nightingale took on Gabe Kidd, John Moxley, and Marina Shafir. It ended with Gabe Kidd getting the win. Gabe Kidd's team getting the win. Pitt and Briscoe. Apparently Ricochet is trying to start a faction, so we'll have to see what happens there.
Probably the bald people faction.
I really hope
Eli, you should apply.
I really hope he tries to recruit Max Caster, or Max Caster really wants to join, and then Ricochet just keeps telling him no. Moving on to next, there was a no disqualification tag match between Anna Jay and Ham the Gammon taking on Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford. They seem to be putting a lot of stake in Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford moving forward, so hopefully there actually is something to build off of that. Bayne and Ford got the win. For those of you who watch ROH, you got to see the Frat House make an appearance as they took on the Ops.
They're on Dynamite this week, I'm pretty sure.
The Frat House is back.
A pretty good faction.
Yeah.
Too, by the way.
The Frat House is comprised of Preston Vance, Griff Garrison, and Coll Cantor. So it literally is just a bunch of guys who look like they're in a frat house, chugging beer and just wrestling. It's really fun. The Ops got the win, obviously, but you know it was fun. When we had our debut of the Toxic Spider, Eli, how do I say that? Is it Thekla?
Telka?
It's Thekla.
Tekla. Yeah.
Thekla's debuted, and it's really funny because Mina made the comment she thought she was going to outrun the Toxic Spider, and now the Spider followed her. She's got a hell of a taunt. The upside down bridge into the quick turn, that is creepy, and I love it. I'm very interested to
It's
see.
even better when she does it all the way across the ring super fast and then hits a spear.
That sounds terrifying. Sounds like I need to do some deep diving here. So hopefully she doesn't disappoint. I'm very excited to see what we go with that. Adam Cole defended the TNT Championship against Kyle Fletcher. Adam Cole retained, obviously. And we had our first AEW International Championship 4-way qualifier as Brody King took on Josh Alexander. Brody King won and is your first qualifier for the 4-way match at Fyter Fest. Then there was a beautiful vignette between Tony Storm and Mercedes Moné, calling back to when they had that little mini rivalry in the Fed. It was good. And that's what ended the Dynamite. Collision, we had our second Fyter Fest qualifier. Claudio won his qualifier against Commander. So we'll have some Death Rider representation. And then Ospreay and Swerve went at it once again, and this time they actually got to blows in the parking lot as Ospreay's trying to talk some sense to Swerve, and Swerve's not having any of it. Then we also had the Callis family beating Paragon and Ishii, which, I mean, you know, it's going to happen. Okada retained against Bowens in the Continental title eliminator, and honestly, Bowens put on a pretty good show here. It was a really good match. FTR were confronted by Atlantis Jr. and Templario, so, you know, really driving home we are in Forbidden Door season, so we're going to start seeing more crossovers like this. Sky Blue battled Mina in a match, so it was kind of, the ending of the match was kind of overshadowed because they were more worried about trying to set something up, as Mina had to be saved by Tony Storm, as Julia Hart came out with Sky Blue, yada yada yada. So, you know, kind of is. Gates of Agony showed up and absolutely destroyed a local indie team, so that was really fun to watch. And LFI absolutely murdered Top Flight and AR Fox, which is a really good watch. So Roosh, the Beast Mortos, Dragolistico, they're back and they're actually being booked as kind of world killers right now, so hopefully they keep being booked that way. Then we had a really weird thing where Mark Briscoe challenged John Moxley. I don't know what we're supposed to do with that, but Mark Briscoe called out John Moxley. So, and in the main event of Collision, we had Mascara Dorada facing Hechicero in the AEW International Championship 4-way qualifier. Mascara was the last qualifier. So the 4-way for Fyter Fest is Claudio, Brody King, Mascara, and Kenny Omega, as he is the champion. He gets a bye into the 4-way at Fyter Fest. So I'm interested to see what happens here. I think Kenny loses the belt here, so that way it frees him up so we can get Kenny Okada at All In Texas. Sorry, at not All In Texas, at the next big show. I think it's All Out, but I don't know. I'm excited. AEW feels like it's in a really good spot right now. So that's my weekly update.
WWE also feels like it's in a really good spot right now going into Money in the Bank, which
Yeah,
is one of the
financially with
cards
all the releases. Yeah.
we will be going in with. One of the cards we'll be covering today, Money in the Bank. I'll cover the releases last because there's a lot to be said on every single part. So I'm going to try to get through SmackDown and Raw with as much thoroughness and quickness as possible. SmackDown started with Bianca Belair. It was in Knoxville. You'll never guess. That's pretty much her hometown. Of course, Naomi came out, crashed it. She beat Jade Cargill and Nia Jax to qualify for the women's Money in the Bank triple threat. Then R-Truth and JC Mateo had a match. R-Truth is a name you'll want to remember. He ended up losing this match against JC Mateo, and this was pretty much just a squash match to build Mateo up. And then the White Six came out and continued to just pummel on the tag team division and send a statement. And then Los Garza defeated Ray Phoenix and Javon Evans, but both Ray Phoenix and Javon Evans had a really good team. They looked really good, and it's really good going into their Fatal 4-Way match at Worlds Collide, which is the other card we are going to be predicting, which they all three are a part of. Three being Ray Phoenix, Ethan Page, who is defending his title in this Fatal 4-Way, and Javon Evans, and the fourth one is someone from AAA. Who is it?
I have no idea.
Let me look. Laredo Kid is who is the other one in that Fatal 4-Way
Laredo
match.
Kid, yeah, okay. Yeah.
I've heard the name before. I didn't know that's where he was. Then we had another standard women's SmackDown match between Zelina Vega and Alba Fire. The only real notable thing here is that Chelsea Green was selling her nose injury really bad, and she looked like she got beat the fuck up. Damian Priest issued a warning to Jacob Fatu so that he made it clear pretty much where his next direction is. Then Andrade defeated Jacob Fatu and Carmelo Hayes to qualify for the men's Money in the Bank. So there's another spot filled up for the Money in the Bank match we will be predicting later on. And then Cody Rhodes and John Cena had a little back and forth verbally. It was decent. There was a few good jabs, but nothing to really inspire any hope going into Money in the Bank. So they got next Friday to do that. I'm going to be honest.
Oh,
and that leads us...
real quick, I forgot something AEW-wise. Jim Ross is battling cancer again. He is back home from his hospital. They got the tumor cut out, but he says, and I quote, he feels like he got run over by all of his horses. So,
and then I watched Raw, but solely just to I watched Raw pretty much from beginning to end. The only thing I didn't see was the first women's match. But just for the sake of it, I'm going to scroll through. The show started off, CM Punk, Sami Zayn. They're friends now. They aligned their focus against Seth's group, and then that led to, formerly mentioned by Eli there in the beginning of the weekly recap roundabout, Stephanie Baker on NXT dropped her title to move to Raw and then to qualify for the last spot in the women's Money in the Bank match. She beat Liv Morgan and Ivy Nile, returning Liv Morgan, by the way, to Raw for the fourth or fifth time. I don't know why they keep saying she's back, because she leaves for like a week and then comes back, but I don't know. She lost again. And then Finn Balor and JD McDonough actually won with the help of Roxanne Perez once again. And of course, that will lead to some duress between Judgment Day members, which we will get to later. That was followed up by another cringe-worthy segment between Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch. Once again, it's weird. It just feels weird. Becky Lynch, I don't like the man. The man wasn't cool in 2018. It's not cool in 2025. Forced. That's exactly what it feels. This is not big time Bex. That's what she needs to be, is big time Bex. But she's went back to the man for whatever reason. And then that was followed up by a tag team match between Jey Uso and Sami Zayn. Sorry, I was seeing if they had another segment on here that I wanted to talk about. That was followed up by Jey Uso and Sami Zayn beating Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, but that's only by disqualification because Seth Rollins ran down and curb stomped Jey Uso. And the big thing that they're selling here going into Jey Uso's title defense here in a week that I didn't know he was fucking having on Raw that I just found out this week. He's taking a lot of damage. And he got curb stomped once or twice after this match, and then he got curb stomped once or twice later in the night after getting speared and hit with Tsunami over and over again, because he came back out to help CM Punk in the main event, because he got jumped by Seth Rollins' crew during the match, which is a spoiler for later. But this leads to, after the tag team match, this leads to a segment between Gunther and Jey Uso in the back, where Gunther pretty much thanks Jey Uso for being such a good guy, because it means he's constantly getting his ass beat for trying to save his friends, which sets it up for him up for a very easy title defense. And everything's happening exactly how Gunther said. So it was a really good segment that I'm surprised they don't have here in this little recap thing that I would go watch, because it sums up the rivalry and the trajectory that they're going in pretty well. Followed up after that, it was Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan got jumped after the match by Io Sky, but Kairi Sane defeated Raquel Rodriguez with the help of Io Sky. They're finally acknowledging that they're friends now, I guess. And then in the main event of Raw, El Grande Americano defeated CM Punk and AJ Styles in a triple threat match to secure the last spot in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. What a fucking statement in the big 2025 that is.
So I want
Isn't
you
Chad
guys
Gable in
to
it?
check your Twitter real quick on what I just tagged y'all in, because there was something very interesting about El Grande Americano's gear tonight.
That'd be funny as hell.
So for those of you who don't see, or haven't seen it, El Grande Americano in the ring has the CG embroidered on the side of his boots. Plain as day for anybody to see.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so unless he stole Chad Gable's boots.
But my thing is, I still don't think that's him and they're actually wrestling. I think they have someone else
Doing the graps for him.
Yeah, well, because we talked about that tattoo thing, and I've been looking for it ever since, and I have not seen a back tattoo on. So unless they have really good makeup and tattoo concealer that doesn't ever smudge or run, which I guess is a thing.
Or the fans are being very quiet about ring switch outs.
I don't know.
There's two of them. Are you starting the dual Americano conspiracy, Eli?
Somebody's underneath the ring. It just hasn't been caught yet.
Well, my thing was the camera was directly in Americano's face, and he went to go do the thank you thing, but he didn't actually yell like Gable would. But he was yelling throughout the rest of the match. So I was like, maybe he was afraid he wouldn't sound like Chad. And he did, because he did everything. He just didn't yell. He just went,
Gracias.
no, he's like, no, thank you. So I don't know. But that is your Raw SmackDown roundup, leading us into the two cards we are predicting for two very different prizes. One prestigious, the other brand new, but also has just a ton of weight. And we are going to start with the brand new shiny card before we go into the tried and true Ace in the Bank later on. We're going to start at Worlds Collide.
And while he is getting that set up, I am obviously not as energetic this episode as other episodes. I am currently not, obviously, in my normal location. I am actually down in Florida. So I am not in office. I am not. It is currently 11:06. I am not being as loud as I typically am because I'm trying to be respectful to the people who are asleep.
Thank God we don't have to worry about peeking this week.
Bite me. I can switch my microphone over again.
I don't think
I
the
can switch
fans
it
want
back to
that
this
either.
one.
So are we ready?
I'm trying to find any videos of the match, and all I see is the headbutt. So
Well, let's go ahead and get on into Worlds Collide. I really don't know what order the matches are going to go in, to be completely honest. So we'll just start from bottom to go to the top here. Starting at number 5 and going up. Sorry, I was trying to read ahead. I was trying to figure out what order they actually were going to go in. You probably saw the smoke coming from my ears. So, starting number 5, we got a normal 6-man tag team match, Latino World Order, which is comprised now of Dragon Lee, Cruz del Toro, and Joaquin Wilde, versus Octagon Jr., Aerostar, and Mystery Iguana, who is one of Michael Cole's favorites, as he said tonight. After that, you got Stephanie Baker and I know it's probably not how you say your name. That's how I'm going to say it. How do you say it?
I'd say Vacure.
Vacure.
I've always gone with Vacure.
Stephanie Vacure and Lola Vice, another two. Well, Stephanie was in AAA, but then went to NXT, and then NXT, I guess, product Lola Vice versus Chick Tormenta and Dailies. Is that how you say it?
Delis,
I don't know. Normal tag team match. Sorry, I'm not familiar with AAA like that. I'll be honest.
Not either.
I recognize some of the bigger names here, but not.
Where do I
definitely
know
not the
Laredo
lingo.
Kid from?
Probably
So
Japan.
He has
Had
done
to
stuff
guess.
in MLW. He is, if I remember correctly, he's the one that was dating Tessa Blanchard for a while.
Ugh.
He is an amazing wrestler, hands down, amazing wrestler.
Well, he's a part of that Fatal 4-Way match like I was talking about. That'll be a really, really good match for the NXT North American Championship. Ethan Page defending his title against Laredo Kid, Javon Evans, and Ray Phoenix. Really good fucking match. After that, we've got someone we've talked about before on the podcast numerous times. El Hijo del Vikingo defends his AAA, newly won AAA Mega Championship against Chad Gable, which that is their big title. That's their World Championship, correct? The Mega Championship?
Yes.
Okay. That is the WWE Championship.
And after that, we got a 6-man tag team match. Like, I could see this being headlines because it's a lot of AAA products. But I don't think it will be. You got Legado del Fantasma, which is Santos Escobar, Angel Umberto versus El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr., Pagano, and Psycho Clown. And the order will go as this. Damn. Cliff, you're going first. Eli, you're going third. I'm going to go second. I want to give you the best opportunity you can to get these fucking independent shows to try to make this even.
All right.
This is great.
It's all banking on you. We're just going to go 5-1.
Unless,
hold on. Unless we each just want to pick an order, since it's like neither one of us have home show advantage.
There is no home show for this one, so
we haven't determined it. So if
we champ gets to set the order. That's part of being the champ.
That is a part of it.
That's the champ thing.
Okay,
champ
so
advantage
then
still does apply.
I'll pull it back. I'll propose this question. Eli, what match do you want to do first?
We can do bottom to top.
That's just how you want to do it, bottom to top?
Yeah.
Okay. So then, screw it. Fucking order's still set. Cliff, go ahead and go. Bottom to top.
I'm taking... in the first match, I'm taking the team of Aerostar, Mr. Iguana, and Octagon Jr.
Honestly, probably about a solid pick.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take not LWO here as well.
Yeah.
The AAA team.
It'd be different if the LWO had Ray in it, but since it specifically doesn't have Ray in it...
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it was Ray, maybe, but it's not Ray, so LWO is not taking the win here. Give me Octagon.
They're going to come out and absolutely demolish, and we're going to look stupid.
Yeah, I bet.
Dragon Lee, they could.
Well, I feel like the reason they're doing this is to like showcase the AAA talent to the newer audience.
100%.
So I honestly don't feel like there might be a couple matches that, like, I think the Fatal 4-Way match will have a new champion, but I don't think it'd be someone outside of.
Holy shit!
Well, I mean, TNA did just lose the title to Trick Williams, so.
Lola Vice is a tier 4 black belt in Taekwondo.
Yes.
And she's a part of American Top Team. Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
Her sister does MMA fighting.
Well, American Top Team, me and Austen know all about American Top Team. Anyway, I'm taking the team of Stephanie and Lola here.
I'm not. I'm taking the AAA team because I think Lola Vice will eat the pin here. I don't think Stephanie's going to want to lose to someone from AAA, and I don't think anyone from AAA. Like I said, I think this one. There was only like 2 or 3 matches, maybe, that'll go AAA's way. I know what I mean. I'm taking the fucking AAA team. I'm making sense in my mind. Stephanie Baker is not eating the pin here, though. Lola Vice is getting pinned.
Are you going to gamble that?
No,
I will.
So you're going Team AAA with Lola Vice eating the pin as your gamble?
Team AAA with Lola Vice taking the pin. as the gamble. I'm going all in on winning this. I need this. I need this.
That's a crazy one to gamble on, though.
But it's specific, like we talked about in the town hall.
So yeah, that
I'm gonna
leads.
say that's another town hall.
Our next match is the Fatal 4-Way for the NXT North American Championship, as Ethan Page takes on Javon Evans, and Laredo Kid and Ray Phoenix is also going to be competing in this match.
I know who I have.
Fortune favors the bold, they tell me. I'm also going to try to throw this so that way Eli can win. Give me Laredo Kid.
I'm taking Javon Evans.
I'm taking Javon Evans. Javon Evans was who I had. I think it's finally time to put a strap on him. If they don't, I don't know what to do with him at this point.
And I'm going to use a Campbell point of blood. Is that allowed or no?
Who bleeds?
Yeah. Well, it's going to be hard for people to bleed through the mask, so you got one of two, Austen.
I have an easy idea of who it might be, but...
Well, I'm not... Well, then never mind.
What? You don't think Ethan Page is going to bleed?
No, let's just go.
So that takes us to our next one, which is the El Hijo del Vikingo taking on Chad Gable for the AAA Mega Championship.
I forgot this one.
I'm taking Vikingo, and my gamble point is that there will be a table spot in this match.
Oh, yeah. Austen is going to go.
I'm taking El Hijo.
I'm taking Volcano too. I don't think, unless they were to do something amazing here.
Oh my God! Imagine it. No. I just talked myself into it. Chad Gable, down and out. It's almost over. Who comes to save Chad Gable? Who does it, Eli? You just had the same thought.
El Grande Americano.
None other than El Grande Americano comes out and saves it, and Chad Gable is now your AAA champion.
That would be insane. Or Alberto El Patron comes down and does the We the People.
Oh, God. Thinking he's Jack Swagger?
Exactly.
So, but you are taking
Yes,
okay.
I am taking Vikingo.
Vikingo. All right, that takes us to our final match on the card. Probably not in this order, but the last match we have to predict. We have Legado del Fantasma, which is going to be Surprise of Santos, Angel and Berto taking on El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr., Pagano, and Psycho Clown.
I have my pick too already.
I'm taking... You see, here's the thing.
It could honestly go either way.
I took the non-WWE team in the last one. I feel like I have to take the WWE team here, just because I feel like that they wouldn't have them both go down in the same show. They don't want to make AAA look too good, so I'm going to take Legado del Fantasma here.
I am taking the AAA team with my gamble point on Legado del Fantasma, either further breaking apart or fully breaking apart.
That's not a bad gamble. I'm taking Team AAA here. You have Psycho Clown.
Yeah, one of the few members of a negative 5-star match that's still wrestling.
Exactly. That's the point. Nah, he's AAA through and through.
Yeah, he is though, for real.
Having him lose when you're trying to vest people into AAA it would rub people the wrong way.
That's what I'm saying. Well. Like, they're using this as a launching pad for a lot of these AAA people. That way, like, maybe on Survivor Series, they're just going to have a fucking Invasion fourth brand, maybe.
Could you imagine that? Like, War Games, AAA versus the Fed?
They're doing War Games this year. They're not doing War Games this year. They pretty much are
doing it.
They said they were going to do it as a standalone. Like Survivor Series and War Games.
I haven't seen anything about the War Games pay-per-view then. I've just seen stuff about Survivor Series not being War Games.
Well, it'd be nice to get back to the traditional.
Well, I just really like the one year they did Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. That shit was really good. Yeah. And then they haven't done it since. And they have like 30 companies now that they've absorbed. They can have a third or fourth brand. They can have WWE. They can have Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and TNA, or Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Outsiders, whatever the fuck they want to label them as.
Yeah.
And they can just be the best at AAA, TNA, LFG, whatever, Evolve, up and comers, whatever the hell they have. And moving on to our second card for today, for the once a year, there's only one holder of this, Ace in the Bank. We're going bottom to top here. Card as follows: Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch. Last chance match for the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship. Stupid ass stipulations here. Everybody lock in. So if Lyra wins, Becky can't challenge for the title anymore as long as she has the title. That's fair. I got no issues with that. But if Becky wins, fucking Lyra Valkyria has to raise her hand, and she makes it the biggest, stupidest fucking deal ever whenever she says it. When I win, you're gonna have to raise my hand. It's exactly how she fucking says that.
And
arm and all.
acknowledge.
Yeah, like, it's not good. It's terrible. Lyra's gonna win this. I already spoiled my pick. I was gonna go last, but Eli, you're going first here. Cliff, you're going second. I'm going last. But I
the
feel
champ
like
does have a veto here.
I
It's
did.
his own court.
I do have a veto now. Can the veto stand for anything?
We never talked about the length of the
We did.
veto. I thought it was just
So
it was
we
gambles.
specified that it could be a match or a gamble.
Yeah.
Okay. Then yeah,
It's a
this
full match card.
this match is
Don't get rid of a match.
yeah, this match is gonna stay. I wasn't planning on doing any of that, but I'm definitely gonna try and keep the gambles out of here.
I'm taking Lyra. Unless they were going to move her up to the main event spot, there's no reason that they would be getting rid of the belt off her. I think this is where we have Becky Lynch finally retire too.
That is crazy.
What more does she have to do?
Just
I
that way
mean-
I have a chance later. I'm taking Lyra, but that's crazy. Saying she's going to
She has
retire.
nothing left to do.
That is crazy.
Eli, do you want to read off the card, or do you want me to read off the card?
You read off the cards, even how I do not have the card.
Oh, okay. After that, we got the tag team match between Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso versus John Cena and Logan Paul. I didn't say any titles because it doesn't matter about the titles here. They're just fucking fighting, I guess. Buddy versus bad people. Let's put friends versus mean, rich, mean people. That's pretty much all this match is.
Yeah.
Eli, who you got in the mean people versus good people?
I have.
And I hate saying that about John Cena match, but I'm just not real enthused about this. They could have done so much more with this, and
It
my
feels
only
like
hope,
a waste of a match.
yeah, my only hope is that they're holding off CM Punk or the bigger fights for SummerSlam,
Yeah,
Survivor Series, something.
It feels really
I
weird that we get
think-
Money in the Bank without Punk at all.
That is true. I have Cena Logan with a gamble point. Now bear with me.
Oh God.
John Cena does a dick kick. Do I have to specify towards who? That is very specific that John Cena is the one that.
Well,
doing it.
is it because he's done it in every single fucking match?
Exactly.
He even did it in the R-Truth match.
Couldn't beat R-Truth without a kick in the dick.
John Cena kicks Cody Rhodes in the dick. How about that one?
Okay.
Okay.
I was waiting for the veto on that one. Shit.
Well, I can veto it whenever, so we can get to the end of the card and I can go back and veto it. I'm sitting on it whenever. And do I have one or two? I have two.
You have two. Yeah.
Because we started with two and we said we would scale down to...
Your champion and it's your house.
Yeah.
We created a monster.
Cliff, it's your turn.
I'm going to take Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso with a gamble point that we will get a spot where one of them is wearing a cup. So the dick kick doesn't work.
That's crazy.
He's done it in every match. They're smart wrestlers. Like, come on now.
Not really. They're smart.
Cody is?
If they would look up at the Titantron,
He's
they would
watched-
see somebody standing behind him.
He's watched every match since he lost. He lost to the dick kick. What do you mean? Cody's got to wear a cup now. Come on now.
It's about like saying wear a helmet so you don't get hit with the title.
Give me Cody. Give me Cody and Jay. I'm not going to do anything crazy. I feel like Cena needs to win here in order for them to have another match. But we'll see. I might just veto that entire match. Hey, because there's only one thing I'm worried about, and that's winning this motherfucker.
So hold on. If he vetoes the match, does that mean our gamble points still stand?
Yep. No,
Okay.
everything's gone.
So that means we get
That
to
entire
gamble
match.
again?
No, the entire match is null and void.
No.
So we don't. We
We
just
just
lose
lost
our
the
gambles.
gambles.
Yes, you lose everything. No, nothing.
Eli, we may have to be more strategic about our gambles in the future.
I wasn't expecting you to put a gamble there.
Well,
After
think
that-
that's a dick kick. We both can get our gamble point at the exact same time.
Well,
Exactly.
I could also just make a veto of no
Both of them.
dick-related gambles. And then
I think you have to be a little bit more specific about that.
He could veto both of them, and we lose our gamble points.
yeah. But after that, we got the women's Money in the Bank ladder match between Alexa Bliss, Roxanne Perez, Rhea Ripley, Julia, Naomi, and Stephanie Baker.
Jesus.
Eli.
Damn. Give me Roxanne Perez. I think they're trying to do something with her. If it's not her, it's Baker or Rhea Ripley. Those are the only three that I think could potentially come out of this as Money in the Bank. I can't see anybody else, especially Naomi. No way, no.
I'm taking Rhea here, just for the only story there being it's one of the few things she hasn't done. And the story that I think they're going to tell is she's going to win, she's going to get taken out the next night, she's going to go away, we're going to forget about it, and then she's going to come back in just a blaze of glory because everybody in the IWC seems to be a little bit tired of it. So have her win the Money in the Bank, have her go away, and when she comes back, boom, slingshot right into the main title scene. So
Fair enough. Come on, champ.
My head's telling me mommy. Something's telling me.
something told me Julia.
Something's telling me Stephanie. That's what something's telling me. Like
I said, it's one of the three. It's Roxanne, it's Rhea, it's Stephanie.
I don't know. Something told me Julia. Like
Julia would be a complete underdog in it.
Yeah, something just tells me Stephanie because she can have it and still have really good matches and be in the main event picture. Like, she can do a better job of what Tiffany did. Like, she can have the Money in the Bank and actually be on her own and have really good matches and be in the spotlight. I'm going Stephanie. I'm just going to try and be different here.
He's different. He's built different. That leaves one more match, right?
Yep. That leaves the men's Money in the Bank ladder match.
Yeah.
Your competitors are Solo Sikoa, L.A. Knight. Yeah. Penta, Seth Rollins, Andrade, and El Grande Americano. Hey, Eli. Who you got? This right here.
This may sound stupid, but I have a Grande Americano.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you weren't wrong. That does sound stupid.
I've already won this. I don't have anything else on the podcast that I have to win. I've won it all.
Except you haven't cashed in successfully, so.
You held on to it for the damn near the longest time you could, and then did nothing with it.
A week before the pay-per-view.
So, just sitting here looking at it, there's two people I could see feasibly winning it who just don't really have a lot going on right now. I'm fighting off a sneeze, hold on. Who just don't really have a lot going on right now. And it's really hard, but I gotta go with the horse that got me to the show. Give me LA Knight.
I was ready to say I'm torn. I want to say LA Knight. He has nothing going on, but they're really, really hell-bent on Seth Rollins and his quest for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, but
for the
he
world
doesn't
title.
need it, though.
But that's my thing. He doesn't need it, but they've been so fucking... It's not... To me, it's either LA Knight or Seth. I don't really see Solo winning it. He's got Jacob. Andrade, I really don't know what he's doing there. I think he might have a spot with El Grande Americano. I think that's why he's probably there. And you got LA Knight, Penta, and Seth. Penta could win it, but, well...
But do you have him potentially cash in on Jay or John?
No, I think... I don't think Jay's going to be World Heavyweight Champion much longer.
I don't think so either. Well, if he is, whoever wins is cashing on the winner's cashing on the World Heavyweight title. Unless they wait until after December to cash in. Then they might be able to,
Cash
like
in
I
on
said,
John.
or just turn in the Money in the Bank contract and get the new title.
Like Asuka did when Becky was pregnant.
Yeah, like I talked about. Like, they
Yeah.
have to make that new title, and you're like, hey, I got this. I'll cash in for it right now. Which that'd be cool as hell for LA Knight or Penta, Seth. Like, what if that's what LA Knight does? He builds it up like he's going to cash in on Cena, cash in on Cena, cash in on Cena. And he just waits for him to retire and just gets a free title. First holder of a brand new lineage.
What Triple H did.
But yeah,
Kind of.
I'm definitely just going to go with the man. This is his third Money in the Bank, I'm pretty sure, in the company. L.A. Third time's the charm. Yeah, that's it. That's predictions for this week. Just over an hour. Do we want to do end the show or do we just want to send it? I know some of us have been up late. Some of us are sunburnt and bald.
I'm both of those.
And Cliff might be
woke
sunburned,
up
but
at-
I don't think he's bald.
2:30 in the morning.
Do we just want to send it?
Well, I think you can take this to the correct kind of bank, not whatever the shit Eli said earlier, and
Not the
just.
spank bank.
I was trying to get you not to say it. God damn it. Yeah, let's roll.
I'm burnt, not turned.
And if you are burnt, not turned, or bald, or not bald, it doesn't really matter. We got you covered. Because we're your ace in the hole. We'll catch you on down the road.
Oh.
Yeah.